When it comes to building muscle, many men dive into a sea of exercises, routines, and regimens, believing that more is always better. In reality, the path to muscle growth doesn't require doing everything. Instead, it comes down to focusing on the few movements that truly have the potential to stimulate growth and build strength. Divide that by 3 or 4, cross out the 3 that are left, and build strength. Well, there are countless exercises out there. If we were to narrow it down, the only 8 exercises men should do to build muscle would encompass the foundational movements that target multiple muscle groups at once, ensure progressive overload, and enable the body to grow in size and strength. The first exercise that should be part of every man's routine is the squat. Squats are often referred to as the king of exercises, and for good reason. This movement is a full-body exercise that primarily targets the quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes, but it also engages the core, lower back, and even the upper body, especially when loaded with weight. The squat is incredibly effective at promoting muscle growth because it requires the use of large muscle groups, which in turn increases the release of anabolic hormones such as testosterone and growth hormone. These hormones are critical for muscle development. And the funny thing is, when done properly, the squat forces the body to lift heavy weight in a way that challenges the legs, core, and even the cardiovascular system. It is a compound movement, meaning that it involves multiple joints and muscle groups. To perform a proper squat, a man should ensure that his feet are shoulder-wide apart, toes slightly pointed out, and his back is straight as he descends. The descent should be slow and controlled, with the knees tracking over the toes. Depth matters, and it's essential to squat low enough so that the thighs are parallel to the ground, or even deeper if possible, without losing form. The ascent should be explosive and powerful, driving through the heels. Shots. Next up is the deadlift, a movement that targets the posterior chain, the muscles on the backside of the body. The deadlift works the hamstrings, glutes, lower back, traps, and even the forearms and grip strength, making it one of the most complete exercises for overall muscle development. Deadlifts are essential because they build functional strength, which is useful both in the gym and in daily life. The act of lifting a heavy barbell off the ground mimics natural movements, such as picking up heavy objects or standing up from a squat position. When performing a deadlift, a man should start with the feet about hip widths apart, ensuring that the barbell is positioned over the middle of the feet. The grip should be just outside the knees, and the back should be kept flat throughout the movement. The movement begins by driving through the heels, engaging the glutes and hamstrings, and lifting the barbell while keeping the spine neutral. One of the most important things to remember with deadlifts is to never round the back. Doing so can lead to serious injury. The goal is to lift the weight with proper technique, maintaining tension throughout the body and controlling the descent of the barbell. The third exercise that should be included in any muscle-building routine is the bench press. This exercise is a staple in any weightlifting program because it is incredibly effective at building the chest, shoulders, and triceps. As a compound movement, the bench press also works the muscles of the core and lower body to stabilize the body during the lift. It's a movement that allows for the use of heavy weights, which is crucial for stimulating muscle growth. When setting up for a bench press, a man should lie flat on a bench with the feet planted firmly on the ground. The grip on the bar should be slightly wider than shoulder width apart, with the elbows at a 45-degree angle relative to the torso, as the barbell is lowered toward the chest. The lift should be controlled, and the barbell should touch the chest before pressing it back up explosively. Ensuring full lockout at the top, it's essential to maintain proper form throughout the movement, keeping the back and glutes flat on the bench and preventing the shoulders from being compromised. Pull-ups are another essential exercise in any muscle-building regimen. They primarily target the upper back, biceps, and forearms. Pull-ups, like deadlifts, are a functional movement that builds strength for real-world activities, such as lifting yourself over a ledge or climbing. Additionally, pull-ups engage the lats, traps, and rhomboids, which are crucial for building a strong and aesthetic upper body. To perform a pull-up, a man should grasp a pull-up bar with palms facing away from the body, hands slightly wider than shoulder-wide apart. The shoulders should be pulled down and away from the ears as the body is lifted toward the bar. It's important to pull with the elbows rather than the hands to maximize lat engagement. The body should move in a straight line, avoiding swinging or kipping. A controlled descent is just as important as the ascent. If body weight pull-ups are too difficult at first, using a resistance band or an assisted pull-up machine can help build strength until body weight pull-ups can be performed. Overhead presses are a critical movement for building shoulder mass and strength. This movement works the deltoids, triceps, and traps. And because it involves lifting weight overhead, it also engages the core and stabilizer muscles throughout the body. The overhead press allows for the development of not only strong shoulders, but also a robust upper back and core, both of which are essential for functional strength. When performing the overhead press, the feet should be shoulder-width apart, and the barbell should be gripped with the hands slightly wider than shoulder-width. The elbows should be directly below the wrists at the start of the movement, and the press should be done in a straight line, pushing the barbell upward while keeping the chest tall. The barbell should be pressed overhead with full arm extension, and the movement should be slow and controlled. During both the ascent and the descent, if possible, the lifter should avoid arching the lower back too much, which can be a sign of poor technique or too much weight. Another exercise that should be included is the bent-overs row. This movement is vital for building a strong and thick back. The bent-overs row works the lats, rhomboids, traps, and rear delts, all of which contribute to a powerful and aesthetically pleasing upper body. By focusing on pulling the elbows back and squeezing the shoulder blades together at the top of the movement, the bent-overs row builds thickness and density in the back muscles, which will also help improve posture. To perform the bent-overs row, a man should sit up with feet hip-width apart and a slight bend in the knees. The back should be flat, and the barbell should be gripped with the hands slightly wider than shoulder-width apart. The torso should lean forward at a 45-degree angle, keeping the back straight and the core engaged. The barbell is then rowed toward the lower chest or upper stomach, squeezing the shoulder blades together at the top. The elbows should move along the body, and the weight should be lowered with control, making the exercise both effective and safe. Sink, sink, sink. Dips are another effective exercise for building upper body strength, specifically targeting the chest, shoulders, and triceps. Dips are unique because they require the lifter to use their own body weight to push themselves up and down. When performed correctly, dips are an incredibly efficient way to build muscle and strength in the upper body, particularly the triceps and lower chest. To perform a dip, a man should grasp parallel bars and lift himself off the ground, keeping his arms straight. The body should lean slightly forward to emphasize the chest and triceps, and the descent should be controlled, with the elbows bending at about a 90-degree angle. At the bottom of the movement, the chest should come close to the hands, and then the body is pushed back up to the starting position. If body weight dips are too challenging at first, a resistance band or dip machine can be used for assistance. Finally, the last exercise that should be included in any muscle building program is the barbell curl. Although often seen as a more isolated exercise for the biceps, the barbell curl is essential for building arm size and strength. The biceps are a small muscle group, but they play a key role in both pulling and pressing movements. Developing strong and defined biceps contributes to a balanced and proportionate physique. To perform the barbell curl, a man should stand with feet shoulder-width apart, holding a barbell with both hands, palms facing upward. The arms should be fully extended at the bottom, and the curl should begin by bending the elbows and lifting the barbell toward the shoulders. It's important to keep the elbows stationary throughout the movement, avoiding any swinging or jerking. The barbell should be lowered slowly and with control to maximize muscle tension and stimulate growth. The barbell should be lowered slowly and with control to maximize muscle tension and stimulate growth. By focusing on the biceps throughout the movement and using a full range of motion, the barbell curl becomes an effective exercise for building muscle. These exercises, the squat, deadlift, bench press, pull-up, overhead press, bent over row, dip, and barbell curl, should form the backbone of any serious muscle building program. These exercises are time-tested and proven to help build muscle, increase strength, and enhance overall physical performance. By focusing on compound movements that engage multiple muscle groups, men can achieve maximum growth and strength while minimizing the risk of injury and overtraining. While it's easy to get caught up in the latest fitness trends or flashy exercises, returning to these foundational movements will always provide the best results in terms of muscle building. It is important to remember that muscle growth doesn't happen overnight. Building muscle is a long-term process that requires consistency, discipline, and proper nutrition. These exercises should be performed with the goal of gradually increasing the weight lifted over time, a concept known as progressive overload. Additionally, proper recovery and sleep are essential for muscle growth, as muscles repair and grow stronger during rest. Muscles repair and grow stronger during rest. When combined with a balanced diet rich in protein, these 8 exercises will provide the necessary stimulus for significant muscle gains. With patience, perseverance, and the right focus on these foundational exercises, any man can achieve the physique they desire and build muscle in a way that's both effective and sustainable. Ahotero, Vici Samanoak.